Okay, so people are giving this movie what it looks like to be a pass, I guess, because it's a actual family that decided to film their own found footage uh, genre horror flick. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna at least be generous of the kid actors because it's a family of four, but it's really just a family of three because of the dad. The synopsis of this is pretty much the title of Life of Belle. Pretty much 8-year-old Belle wants to be I guess a YouTuber, a content creator. So her dad gets her a camera to film with, and her brother, who she keeps calling her brother, which I thought was fun. That was like one of the things that kept making me chuckle, was the fact she never uses the brother's name. I don't believe it's just brother. But yeah, it wants to be a Paranormal Activity knockoff, but without any of the charm of, or not charm, but without any of the interesting or coolness or there's some creepy stuff in this, I'll give it. Whereas if they wouldn't have this movie, again, it tries to be a Paranormal Activity movie, but then it tries to also not be. It tries to be like a psychological thing, but then by the end it's paranormal, and then it's barely paranormal if you think about it. I mean, it is paranormal, but what I'm saying is that they don't. I guess the guy I saw on reviews, I think it was directed by Shawn Robertson, and then but I guess the budget on this was like $100 or so, which I don't know how much Evil Dead was, but at least that was a very low budget film, and even that, shot in one location, and granted that's more gore and more ambitious than this, because stuff happens in the Paranormal Activity movies, at least throughout, whereas here you get maybe one shadow that knocks something over, and then throughout the rest of the movie, it's mostly the mom talking to her. Because you at first you're thinking, oh, she's schizophrenic, I guess. And I think if they would have just stuck with that instead, and not gone the whole by the end paranormal stuff, because again, like the paranormal stuff in this supernatural does not really play into. I mean, it does with the mom, but then it's mostly her either yelling and screaming at the top of her lungs during certain hours of the night or day, or her in a catatonic state just staring, which is creepy. I think they should have just stuck with she's mentally ill, and it's these kids trying to figure out what to do but then it's a found footage film, so you already know how it's going to end, and it's called Life of Belle, so by the end, bad stuff happens. But I don't know, like this one, and it's edited fine. Like again, they pull from Paranormal Activity 3 mostly. Well, Paranormal 2 with the cameras throughout the house. Surveillance cameras anyway, and then Paranormal 3 with where you have mainly the kids are the center piece of the movie, or in the front and center, which I thought the kid actors were fine. They were okay for what they were directed to do. I did think some of the whining when they had to cry or show emotion was it. Like, I get what was going on with, like, I get like they would freak out and cry and scream, but the fact that it kept going on and on sometimes, I thought that started to annoy me a bit. the dad, you don't really know much about the dad or the if anything, you find out somewhat of the mom, where like the dad talks about, because there's this bonfire scene where they talk about, they do ghost stories, and so the dad decides to tell his story, and he makes a story of his neighbor, pretty much talking about his wife when they were younger, how she would see stuff in the corner of her eye, and you can I guess you can sort of say that's a twist by the end, but then not really, because the way she reacts when he's telling the story of like, don't tell them this, and you know, you sort of already know that, she's who he's talking about in the story. But yeah, it's mostly her walking around the house talking to herself, or yell or screaming at night, which again, I think that's more creepy, to have a parent who, like, you're a kid and your other parent goes off, leaves you alone with what you and your sibling have to deal with, a parent who's, not unfit. I wouldn't say unfit, but just, well, I guess, you know, they have a lot of stuff going on in their head and mind, and they can't, mentally, I think that they should have stuck with that more, because that's more realistic to me. I can buy that more than the whole, by the end, oh, it's demons, and they don't even explain what the things are, because we do see them by the end, but then at the end it's a very glitchy and, almost transparent. They look like they're gray people, literally naked gray people, or ashy gray people or whatever, and it's like two of them, at least, that I saw. And then it just glitches in the footage, and then it cuts to black, and then, oh, so it's Annabelle or Belle was never, her whereabouts are unknown, and please contact us if, pretty much the generic found footage ending cliche messaging. But yeah, I can't say I really enjoyed this one. I mean, there's better lost footage films. Granted, the fact that it's a real family, it decided to, or a guy decided to film his family into their own movie, and that. And I mean, I commend that for sure, but I'm not gonna, because it seemed like all these other reviewers are like giving them easy passes, or whatever. Again, like, even the ending, like, they don't explain what these things are. Like, are they demons? Are they what? And like, the mom freaks out at the end, and I guess she kills the son. I guess they don't even show like how they do it. Like, I guess she stabbed him. She started stabbing him in the eye, and then he died, I guess. So then she tries to, I guess, cut Belle's hand or something, but then Belle doesn't like that. And like, the mom then, I guess she stabs her own self in the eye and dies on the floor. They don't even show what she really does to herself. They just, it's shot from behind and on the surveillance camera. And we just see her feet. So if you're into feet, fetish feet, whatever. There's that. But I don't know. Like, there's other found footage films that have way lower budgets, but stuff, at least more interesting stuff happens. Better acting, at least somewhat. More intriguing premise. I don't know. I just can't, this one was just a pretty boring watch. For me, anyway. Again, even the third act is a whimper. Not a satisfying conclusion of like what other people are saying. So I don't know. If let me know in the comments if you guys seen this movie. If you like it, that's cool. If you don't, I understand. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Give it a like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace and love.